Hi, everybody. So my name is Mary. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. I am located in St. Louis, Missouri. So I don't know, where everyone else is. We're a little chilly here. So we'll talk a little bit about, what Thanksgiving is going to look like this year, because obviously it's going to be a little different. And I do want to say I want this to be interactive. Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions in the middle. It doesn't matter. And we'll, of course, have questions at the end as well. All right. So, perfect. Okay, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our, COVID safety precautions as a healthcare professional. So obviously, if reminders, food safety has always been an important thing. And so now we just take it to the next level. So if possible, try and limit your social gatherings. I know a lot of people are doing like Zoom Thanksgiving dinners, or having, a group of 10 people or less that you know that you are seeing and not seeing anyone else. And a big part of that is just going to be communication. If you don't have a plan yet, try and make a plan for what these holidays are going to look like. I think that, if everyone kind of gets on the same page, it can become less stressful. And so that's our whole goal, is to have less stress and to really enjoy our time. So obviously, lots of hand washing, wash your hands before cooking, before serving. If you are making a dish to bring somewhere, I cook with the mask on. That way, everything is remaining sanitized. And then like what we're doing is we're gonna eat outside, spaced out, so that you have, air ventilation. We just have one person designated to make everyone's plate instead of doing like buffet style where there's a lot of hands involved. And if you really can't, eat outside, try and open windows in the house. You can eat in separate rooms, and then, wear masks if you're together. So had to put my little public health service announcement in there. And so we have these holiday meals that we look forward to all year long. And we do want to enjoy them. So it's going into that with the mindset of, I'm going to maintain my my healthy eating goals while still enjoying this meal. It is possible, which is the good news. So one of the first tips is don't save your calories for later. A lot of people will skip breakfast and lunch because they know they're going to have this big dinner at the end of the day. I really don't recommend that, because what happens is we starve our brain, and so then we can't make rational decisions later. But yeah, you're just kind of setting yourself up to binge eat later in the day, and then we really overdo our calories, and it makes it so difficult to make food decisions. So yeah, you can definitely have, maybe a lighter breakfast and lunch, but I would encourage, if you're not going to make it to mealtime, have a snack, have an apple and some string cheese, some fiber and protein, so that you are, satisfied going into that meal. And then one of my favorite, things is to pick your favorites. So I know, okay, my mom's mashed potatoes are what I look forward to all year. And so I'm going to choose that over the sweet potato casserole. I don't really care for it that much, so I'm okay with skipping it, compared to the mentality of I'm going to fit everything on my plate. Because sometimes, if you don't enjoy something as much, you want to have those favorites instead. Taste the rainbow. So if we can make a more colorful plate. A lot of times, especially that Thanksgiving meal, it's a very yellow beigeish plate. And so what happens is those colors actually correlate to the vitamins and minerals that you're consuming. So fruits and vegetables get their color from phytochemicals, which are going to be those, nutrients. So if we can, add some pomegranates, or even the sweet potatoes, are going to have more nutrients than, your white potatoes. Have a side salad with it. The more color we can fit in our plate, the more nutritious it's going to be. Any questions on that, or any, favorites that you guys have that you want to share? We also have the chat box too, if you want to type it in there.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in and say people are free to kind of make this interactive and comment over video throughout, or chat, and I can kind of relay messages to Mary. But I too, Mary, mashed potatoes in our family are kind of like the ultimate, decadent food. My sister makes like the fanciest mashed potatoes, so I always know I have to try it. So you just kind of factor that into your other food choices for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. All right. So I always say can't control what other people are going to do, right? So you don't know what, everyone else is going to bring, but you can ensure that there's going to be at least one healthy dish if you bring it yourself, right? So my example for this, my cousin is also a dietitian, which is very odd, really, but so I guess it runs in the family. But she brings this quinoa, sweet potato, cranberry casserole, and it's just delicious. And so, from the quinoa, you get the protein and the fiber, but you're still incorporating those seasonal foods, so the sweet potatoes and the cranberries. And so it can really be done in a healthful way. And it's smart to, again, we want to set ourselves up to succeed. So if we know there's going to be at least one dish there that really fits in line with our goals, that can, again, just make it less pressure and stress on ourselves. And then I like to mention the beverages. So this, there's two parts of this. So there's the alcoholic beverages, and then just beverages with calories in them, right? So as far as, the alcoholic beverages go, yes, so there's calorie content there, but it also can lead to poor food choices later. Not saying you can't have a drink at Thanksgiving, that's usually necessary, right? But we want to make sure we're doing, again, it's just making that decision. If okay, after 2, my decision making goes down, have that in mind and have a game plan going into it. And then the other thing with beverages is our brain doesn't process them the same as, chewing and eating food. So it's a much more passive intake method. And so our brain just doesn't process that as much as, oh, I'm intaking calories. We don't feel as satiated from it. And so that's where the excessive calories from beverages can really add up. So the one example I put in there is, 8 ounces of eggnog is about 223 calories. So that's just from one drink. Again, if eggnog's your favorite, you're going to factor that in, and you're going to, know that information ahead of time. But if you say, eggnog is not really my favorite, we can, recognize, oh, it has a lot of calories. And that's really any, whether it's soda or sweet tea or just any beverage with, sugar or cream in general. And with the holidays, we want to enjoy more than just the food. Sometimes it's, it's socializing with the people and not just hanging out by the food table. Yes, they kind of go hand in hand, but sometimes it's literally just moving away from the kitchen or wherever the food is being served. And it's just, going to decrease the likelihood that we're going to be kind of grazing throughout the party. So again, whether that's video chatting or playing like the like games over Zoom or however, that looks like for you guys this year. I also like to, incorporate physical activity into your holiday, throw a football with the kids, get outside, take a walk. It doesn't have to be like some strenuous exercise or anything, but just getting some movement in the day. Especially, a walk after the meal will really help your digestion process and help your, blood sugars stabilize. Any questions on that part? All right. Oh, the no thank you, I'm full. So we have food pushers in the family, right? So have another slice, have more. I made this, eat it. For whatever reason, we just feel like we can't say no. So again, have a plan in what you're going to say. It can be a simple, no thanks, I'm full, or even just if you can be a little vulnerable and open up and say, hey, I'm trying to, eat healthier, or I have XYZ goal. That can kind of just help people understand more, and then they will, kind of back off a little easier. And I kind of joke, Aunt Rhonda will still love you if you don't have another slice of pie. It's okay. It won't be the end of the world. Savor those seasonal treats. So, also just remembering having a treat once a year is not going to derail all your goals. I think sometimes we get so hard on ourselves of like, oh, I ate this and, forget it. I'm just going to quit eating healthy. Like it doesn't have to be this all or nothing mentality. And so again, with the savoring, it's really just slowing down and paying attention to the food and really tasting it. So often we fly through our meals and we're not enjoying it as much as we could. So I say, name the smell, the taste, the mouthfeel, the temperature. There's so many components of eating. So, eating's obviously, it's my favorite thing. So when we slow down and really taste and enjoy our food, it's just that much better. And a lot of times you'll find when you really enjoyed one cinnamon roll, you don't need another one. So it can kind of help with that portion control as well. So honoring your fullness. So when, your hunger and fullness cues are your body's way of saying, I need fuel or I've had enough. So we want to eat until we're satisfied, not stuffed. Once we get a, stomach ache, that means we've overdone it. And no one really likes that feeling too, right? You shouldn't have to pass out on the couch after a meal. So, paying attention to your fullness, if your stomach is saying, hey, I've had enough, those leftovers, they'll still be there. They're not going to run away. And sometimes it is really just having a plan of like, hey, mom said she wants this, she put her name on it for tomorrow, and that's going to be hers. It can just have that peace of mind, because sometimes we feel like we have to consume everything right now or we'll never get it again. Let's see. So save the leftovers. Sometimes even doing it ahead of time, like if I know I'm making this dish and I really like it, I'm going to save a little bit before I bring it to the event. So I know I'm going to have more tomorrow too. Okay, the last thing is we want to skip the guilt trip. So yes, if you find, okay, I overdid it, I overindulged, I didn't feel good afterwards, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And again, I kind of touched on that earlier, but it's, feeling guilty and shame after an overindulgence, it doesn't help anything. If anything, it makes us feel bad about ourselves. And sometimes we emotionally eat again because of that. So yeah, just being really gentle with yourself, and kind of learn from any mistakes you felt that you made. But really do that in a non-judgmental fashion. So saying, yeah, I realized I skipped lunch and then I was too hungry at dinner and then I just ate everything. And then, it's just naming that and saying, okay, next time I will have a little lunch so that I can make decisions come dinner. Again, it's not, oh, I messed up, I'm the worst, I'm bad, it's all over. Really kind of avoiding that negative talk. And then we can just move on and, our next meal will be in line with our health goals. All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. But feel free to ask any questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary. That was definitely making me hungry for some Thanksgiving food, but super helpful tips. As Mary said, yeah, feel free to chime in. Hopefully some folks have questions, especially this year being a bit different, just kind of how to navigate everything. I can kick things off, a question on my end, just kind of around tips around meal prepping and what are your strategies for if you're doing the bulk of the holiday cooking? Like, what are your tips for meal prepping and kind of timing everything so you're not stressing and feeling like you're saving everything for the last minute?
Yeah.
Kind of yeah.
So anything you can do in advance, get it done. And so what that might look like is, chopping all the carrots and celery, maybe even 2 days before. It's still going to be, ready to cook 2 days later. So yeah, do not save the grocery trip for Wednesday. Do it now if you can. Because no one wants to go to the store then. It's going to be a madhouse. And do anything that doesn't require, the cooking part in advance as you can. And then, day of, start with those things that are going to take the longest to cook. So if you're roasting a turkey, that's going to take a while. So start with that so that once it's in the oven and going, you can, work on those other dishes. I also say enlist help, too. Yeah. You've got kids in the house, they're going to help, right? Easier said than done. But so it's just doing a little bit of prep work and, mapping out that cooking schedule.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Any
I'm not
other?
gonna pretend like it's easy.
Yeah, I know. It's like a forever challenge for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So feel free to chime in, anyone with questions. I feel like I could keep going on all day, but I loved your sweet potato quinoa suggestion. That sounds delicious. Are there any other sort of like signature Thanksgiving dishes that are sort of your go-to to have healthier spins on?
Yeah, I do like a kale salad this time of year. And so where you can maybe make that a bit more, not family friendly, but for people who aren't used to eating kale, it can just be incorporating some kale into, a normal side salad. And then people are usually surprised, like, I ate kale. So that can be a good, seasonal treat as well. I'm trying to think. And then it's just kind of some healthy swaps. So, like in my mashed potatoes, I'll use, either a 1% milk or some skim milk with just a little bit of cream, and then, have 2 tablespoons less of butter in it, or it's those little things that it doesn't seem like a lot, but they add up. And so you won't notice it missing when you're eating it, but it'll be less calories,
Totally.
Using, Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. So you're going to get the protein from that. And then just, a lot of it comes back to the fat content, because that's going to be your, it's 9 calories per gram. So that's where so many of our calories come from, is the fat. So if we can't use healthier fats, so like your oils, canola, olive oil, instead of your butters and your creams and all that stuff, that will save you the most. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, well, if no one else has questions, just as I said at the beginning of the session, Mary is one of our awesome coaches on the TaskHuman app. So for those who are familiar with the app and have it, you can definitely look for her. Just simply search for her name on the app. And those who don't have it yet, we're sending a follow-up email that will give you instructions on how to download the TaskHuman app for free. And then you'll have the ability to talk with Mary or other coaches about any of your wellness goals. But, you know, Mary would be available to chat one-on-one, even if you kind of wanted to go through your Thanksgiving menu or whatever holiday you're planning on celebrating, and sort of help you slice and dice and kind of come up with a plan that works best for you. So again, be on the lookout for a follow-up email from us. And thank you so much for attending. I hope everyone has a super happy and healthy holiday season, and big thanks to Mary for sharing all this super helpful information. So with that, we hope to see you on the TaskHuman app.
Thanks,
So thanks
everybody.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.